Hey everybody, C-Note here, and welcome to DOPEamine, the show that is all about mental health empowerment using personality typology. Today on the show, I want to talk to my fellow INTPs about overcoming emotional embarrassment. And before we dive into that, I want to remind you that until midnight tonight, happy Valentine's Day by the way, until midnight tonight, there is the Finding and Maintaining Relationships for INTPs course available in the link below for $14. If you go pick that up before midnight, you will get it at that price. After midnight, it goes up to $29. So it's a good idea to go pick it up now because the price will go up permanently, but it will also be something that is a worthwhile investment. That is a few hours of Molly and I, my partner, as an ENFP. She's going to be sharing her perspective on what it's like to be with an INTP and how we've grown together in our relationship and how you can kind of take some of that advice with you going forward. So go ahead and click below bit.ly/INTPlove. You will see that in the first link in the comments below. So I want to talk to you real quick about overcoming emotional embarrassment, because I know that for me, being emotionally embarrassed is typically about a lack of elegance or a lack of intellectual prowess around a certain concept, particularly when it comes to emotional things or the way that things are transpiring in the sort of emotional sphere that you're in. And there's just this general idea of like feeling, I should know how to do this. I should know how to navigate this. I should know what to do. And sometimes that inelegance and that inability to know what to do can be really frustrating. It can be frustrating to feel like, you're not prepared or you haven't thought about this, or to even show that you're just not smart in this area. Can be really vulnerable, because that's something we care about and we pride ourselves in, is having knowledge, understanding, and logic, and being able to figure something out. So if you're in a situation where you need someone to help you, it can be really embarrassing to feel like you actually need help from someone. And that's something I'm actively working on right now, is the ability to ask for help and to accept help. In a way, asking for people to buy my courses is a way of asking for help, to help me pay the bills, to help me keep this channel going, to help me build this community of like-minded INTPs who are trying to grow, to feel less lonely, to connect with each other and share each other's experiences. And for me to do that, I do need to ask for help. I do need to ask for, I have a GoFundMe going right now around getting some funds to upgrade some of my equipment, and that feels incredibly vulnerable for me to do that. So this idea of just putting everything out there is really scary in general. But when it comes to creativity as well, putting your stuff out there and getting feedback sometimes means being a little bit embarrassed about the thing that you thought was a good idea, or that you thought you figured something out and it wasn't, it wasn't the thing. So what I want to propose is that the best way to actually navigate that is to go through. And to go through is to actually express how you're feeling in the moment when it happens. And that comes over time of cataloging how it feels in your body when something is a little bit off. So when you're feeling that embarrassment, and maybe you're feeling a little shaky, maybe you're like kind of face goes a little flush, or maybe you're just kind of feeling a little lightheaded or something like that. There's usually some sort of feeling in your body that is a signal that you're feeling this. That's why they're called feelings. And it's not exclusive to just introverted feelers. Like every single human being feels emotions. You know that. You feel things, right? So being able to express how you feel and just say it, even if it's inelegant and you're like, I'm not sure how I feel a little off. And you just kind of start from there. But then you sort of work your way towards the honest expression of saying like, I'm not entirely sure how to do this. I might need a little help with this. Or I'm feeling a little embarrassed because I feel like I should have figured this out, but I just haven't. And the idea of being able to express, first of all, is a healthy way of getting the emotions through and out of your body. Like you let your body relax, and it's good for your physical health, and it's good for your mental health to be able to express and process and let things out. But then that's also an opportunity to connect, because other people like to help people as much as we like to help people. As much as we like to give away our information, and without even realizing it, many of us are trying to help people that way. we also need to recognize that other people like to teach, and they also like to help, and they like to be valuable, just as much as we're trying to find ways for us to feel valuable to the world, to the bigger picture. Other people have different methods of feeling valuable. So especially if you're with an FJ in like a group of people, like that's their natural speed. That's what gives them energy. Allowing them to help you gives them that hit, gives them that energetic high. So that's incredibly valuable to connect with someone. And set your boundaries and saying that like they don't need to help you with everything, but when you're able to express what it is that you do need help with, it actually helps people to not make assumptions about what you do need help with in other ways. They might bother you less because they know, okay, maybe you need help in this specific area, but these other things you don't need help with, right? So setting those boundaries for yourself is incredibly important. But at the same time, asking for help is another way of setting that boundary, because they know what the thing is and they don't have to assume what the thing is. Does that make sense? So the general idea is that by expressing how you feel, to express your emotions, to share how you're feeling in the moment, even if it's inelegant and you don't know how to say it, and you're going to find it's going to feel stupid, you're going to feel a little bit whiny. I still feel that all the time. Like I express my emotions to my partner pretty consistently, but I'm still feeling like, I shouldn't feel this way, or I should know this by now, or I should understand this, or I should have noticed that. And it's important to understand that our extroverted feeling process is one of our unconscious processes. Our TI and our FE are both unconscious processes, meaning TI, we're just so good at it that we're not aware of what we're doing all the time. It's just kind of like the mode that we're in. We're just driving, we're just going. And the path to development is making some of that conscious. And the same thing for extroverted feeling. The path to becoming more elegant with extroverted feeling is making some of the things that are just unconscious and unaware, that we are unawares of, and making that more conscious in our lives. So even having this discussion, having this conversation, getting on camera, putting things out there is like always uncomfortable for me. I stand in front of the camera and I'm like, I have a general idea of what I'm going to talk about, but what if I screw it up? What if it doesn't connect? What if what I'm sharing is going to be taken negatively? What if an INTP is going to get frustrated with me and say like, you're too emotional and I can't have you in my life? That's frustrating for me to think about. But what's been helpful for me is that I do get positive feedback. For every single bit of negative feedback, there is 10 times more positive feedback. And the only way that you can see that ratio play out is by putting it out there. People want to help you. People want to support you. People want to let you know how valuable you are. They want to care for you. They want to make space for you. And for INTPs, we have to make sure that people know that we want that we want that space, that we want to share how we think and what we feel. And that we want to be able to reach out when we need, help, and that we do want help sometimes. Not most of the time, but every once in a while, when you're in a scenario where you're emotionally vulnerable and you need a hug, you need some care, you need someone to listen to you, you need someone to be there for you, or even if you're doing something simple like trying to smoke weed, like I did with some friends recently, and you try to do it and like you're not good at it. Like for some reason you can't like inhale properly. It's just not working. Like I was like so embarrassed in front of a bunch of friends. And feeling like I didn't know how to do this. So like I had to hold it, and like my friend had the lighter, and they were just like, okay, one step at a time. Okay. So like breathe in, nope, breathe more, and they kind of talk you through it. And the thing is that, sometimes that can make you feel a little bit like a child, and that's okay. That's part of keeping a beginner's mind and learning how to get into a place of non-attachment. Not attached to your own intellect and being the smartest person in the world, because that's impossible. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So I encourage you as an INTP to get into places that make you feel uncomfortable, to get into situations where someone else is going to have to teach you something. But really overcoming those emotional embarrassing moments is about going through. It's about expressing your intention, expressing how you feel, expressing what you're trying to say, and continuing to process. Because if you harbor that and you keep that inside, it's going to feel terrible. You're going to continue to harbor resentment. It's going to stay in there. That's just what happens. That's how it goes. I've seen this play out over and over and over again. Every single personality type has a different way of inputting, processing, and outputting. For INTPs, we input based on our information, and sometimes we input and output based on what we express to other people. So being able to output through our extroverted feeling is incredibly important for us to not just have ideas, but to create the ideas and then test those theories with the outside world and then bring it back and calibrate, right? I believe strongly in the idea of create, then calibrate. That motivation comes as the result of creativity, creating something. Then you get excited and motivated by the fact that you're doing something awesome and interesting, right? So get yourself into that cycle of input, process, output, and you'll naturally feel a little bit more like you can emotionally express what is going on. It's still going to feel weird, still going to be hard, but it takes bravery. And that's all I'm encouraging in you is bravery to take that moment and actually say what you mean to say and what you want to say and take the feedback in stride. That's really what it's all about. So while I know a lot of you might come to this video and look for a magic pill, that's really the magic pill, is that you have to do the work to become braver and practice over time being able to express in the moment how you feel and listen to your body. You know, I'm feeling anxious because I'm reaching the end of burnout. I just put out this course. I put out a bunch of videos this week, a bunch of YouTube videos. I've done a ton of work. There've only been a few sales so far. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling frantic. I'm feeling like I need to do more, but I also feel like I need to relax. I'm also frustrated because it's 8 degrees outside, but I need to get out of the house and I don't want to go outside. You know, those are sort of like examples of some of the honest expression. You know, practice by yourself if you need to. Again, put it on a voice recorder, write it down. Somehow you have to extrovert the feeling. It has to come out of you. It has to be out into the world. And if you can get it out to other people and they can sort of give you their feedback and help you through it, all the better, because then you'll feel so much better as a result. So understand that because extroverted feeling is in your cognitive stack, that you are going to get an energy hit from it. Like it is something that is part of you that needs to be nurtured and cared for. So it's not something you do all the time, but every once in a while when you need to do that, when your TI and your research and all the things you're doing is not giving you that hit anymore, not giving you energy, that means you have to change gears and do something else. It means maybe you have to put stuff out there. Maybe you need to go out and play. Maybe you need to go listen to some music. You listen to it over and over again, you know, but the point is extroverted feeling is a part of you and needs to be cared for and nurtured. So express how you feel, even if that feeling is embarrassment, and expressing like, you know, that I wish I was smarter in this area. I wish I was better at emotions. I wish I was better at people and connections. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. And that's okay. Because then you can be aware of what those things are. Other people can help you. You can take the course like mine, like finding and maintaining relationships for INTPs, and use this as an FE moment to learn from someone else, to learn from me, to learn from Molly about how we've nurtured our relationship, how I found other personal relationships in my life, and how I use my strengths to build up my weaknesses and not try to pretend to be an FE dominant. That's not the idea. The idea is to use your TI, to use your NE as a connection tool. And this is not at all about highlighting any ineptitudes in INTPs. This is not about making you feel bad about who you are. This is about taking who you are and, again, raising all ships with your strengths. Because that, to me, whether you take the course or not, that is the greatest bit of advice that I can give you as any personality type, but especially as an INTP, to lean into your strengths. Your strengths are going to lift everything else up. It's going to make your world better. So again, extroverted feeling, use language to express how you feel and be honest about how you feel. That is TI-FE integration at its best. So again, if you want to go sign up below at Finding and Maintaining Relationships for INTPs, or as an INTP rather, There's just so much great information in there, so much great honest expression. Molly and I are fun to listen to. I honestly believe I'm biased, obviously, but I think it's fun. I think it's great. I'm really proud of it. Even if there aren't a lot of sales, I'm grateful that it exists. I'm grateful that I did this. I've always wanted to do something like this with a partner. I've always wanted to do something like this for people like me. And, feeling like this is my calling to help INTPs to grow and to bring TI into the world, which is in desperate need of truth. I know a lot of you know that we are in desperate need of actual focused truth, and not just hateful truth or hurtful truth, but like looking at the premise of things and actually looking at the basis of something and looking at how we can fix it. And the only way that can happen is by taking our theories and putting it out into the world. TIFE. So practice that. Practice expression, practice creativity, practice putting yourself out there, asking questions, putting the words that you have to share out into the world, because the world needs it. The world needs you as an INTP to participate in it. So we love you. I love you as an INTP. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching these videos. You've been leaving a lot more comments these days, and please share it with fellow INTPs, share it with friends, share it with family, to share how this is something that resonates with you, and say like, look, this guy is explaining something that has something important to do with me. This is who I am. This is how I am. And I'm not the only one. I'm not quote unquote crazy, right? Sometimes family members or friends need to see that. So I think that's incredibly important and valuable. So with all of that said, because I talked a lot more than I intended to, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Go to DOPEamine.life to check out the podcast, because there is a podcast with a lot of other mental health and INTP related topics on there, and articles at DOPEamine.life. So go check that out. Be a part of our community, leave comments, all the fun stuff. And you can hit me up at Let's Go C Notes on all the social channels. You can message me if you'd like. I am reachable, and I do have like coaches and coaching and courses and all of this stuff. So ask me all the questions in the world. Go pick up the course below. I appreciate you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll catch you next time on DOPEamine. See ya.